Where this is part two of Netflix canceling shows and how the Netflix machine isn't like the television and movie machines. It's I never really thought about it, but going to one place for TVs and movies is almost kind of a weird thing for me because
Going,
yeah. Well, I
yeah,
mean,
well,
I guess if they're like releases, they're not like things you would get at Blockbuster.
no, it's so much weirder now to go to different channels to get different content.
Is it
That's
weird?
what's that's what's weird
I guess
nowadays.
if you don't have the account, if you don't have the account to switch, you're denied. Or you're saying like just switching, just going from Amazon to Disney
Yeah,
Plus to
yeah,
Netflix to really,
yeah.
okay. But for me, it doesn't matter because you probably go to websites. I actually have a Roku, and I just use the Roku to switch to different channels. So I can
Well,
go.
even that's besides the point. The thing is like it's weird nowadays to have multiple content in multiple places because the thing I
It's
think
not
the
like
draw.
channel. It's not like TV channels. Just press the remotes.
No, I don't consider them different channels. I mean, even then, it's still that's still weird these days too because like the one of the draws of like streaming
Mhm.
was you're gonna was like I remember like back in
On
the early days
demand.
of streaming,
On demand.
everything was gonna be in one place. Like you could cut the cable cord.
Okay.
Like you didn't have to subscribe to cable. You didn't have to go to different. You didn't have to surf through different channels to find your
What you
favorite
wanted to
show.
watch, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like what the big draw is back in the early days of streaming. It's like, oh, you didn't have to do any of that anymore. You can just subscribe to one thing and then have everything in one plate. But now it's like it's turning back into
TV
uh
again.
TV, yeah.
But that,
The
what?
good the old the old fashioned days of cable where it's like, oh, now you have some things on Netflix and now you have some things on Amazon, a few things on HBO. Oh, you got Disney Plus, and then you got like all these smaller ones like the Hulu services through.
Yeah, like what is that called? Paramount Plus, all those fun.
Oh yeah, it's Paramount Plus, Stars, yeah, it's Showtime, yeah.
Well, we had I think it's Voodoo. I don't know if it was Voodoo or one of them. Like we really wanted to watch this. My friend and I wanted to watch this movie that wasn't available anywhere else. It's either you buy it from Amazon Prime or Prime Video, or you actually start watching it on Voodoo. And so I downloaded Voodoo just to watch it. But I mean, that was free, and that was on. And then Roku has its own channel too. You know what I mean?
Oh, see, and there's the confusing part too. It's like, what if you want to watch like a movie that you really liked, but then you don't know where to find it? It's like you have
That's
to
the
check
hard
like
part.
10 different things. Like, or what I end up doing is like I'll just like Google it, and sometimes
See
it'll
where
tell
to
me,
watch, yeah, where
yeah,
to watch.
where to watch this show. It's like,
Yeah,
gosh.
I'm the same way. But for me, when I watch, a lot of times when after I Google it, I know for a fact that it'll always be on Amazon Prime. So I think most of
Yeah.
the time I'll buy it from Amazon and just watch
Oh
it.
yeah, there's Amazon Prime and there's Amazon Prime Video, and then there's like video stuff you have to buy through Amazon.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like the Prime Video, like Lord of the Rings, right? Or the Rings of Power. You could watch it on there, and it's
Yeah.
free because you have a Prime Video. But then if you want to watch any other video from other networks or other producers
Hmm.
that or distributors, then you're out of luck. You have to
Yeah.
pay the piper. But they do have so funny enough is like 8 to 10 years ago, like there wasn't many streaming, platforms, so you couldn't really get a lot of things for free or for
In the beginning, there was only one.
yeah. In the beginning, it's either you did DVD, Blu-ray, and then of course you could watch it on Amazon, or you could watch it on iTunes. So I mean, if you look at my iTunes library, I should say something to Jomar, but my iTunes library has all these old videos that I used to watch, like I used to buy week to week episodes for certain things, and only until Amazon came out with the ability to buy seasons is when I just buy the whole season now. It's like for cheap because and then it emails you every time a new episode comes out, so that's pretty cool. Like Rick and Morty, I watch it on Amazon
Well,
Prime.
I do. I don't even think I did any of that. I think I just started
You
off with
know?
Netflix subscription, and then
And my
slowly
friend, that was your streaming journey. Your streaming journey. Just
my
started
stream
off with
journey.
Netflix and then branched out to others. I mean, I
Yeah.
can see why a lot of people share passwords. I mean, I couldn't, I would not be able to, like, there should be just like a HUI where everyone, well, I mean, now that they're cracking down on
Well,
passwords.
it's confused. It's kind of confusing with the new Netflix regulations.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when are they implementing that? Isn't that happening soon?
They didn't specify. I
I
think they
thought it
just
was
said
happening
soon. They just said soon. Soon this
soon,
year.
soon,
Soon
soon this year.
coming to you soon this year.
Like a movie. Your Netflix
Yeah.
subscription will
Coming
increase.
coming to a Netflix
Oh,
account
fall of
soon, close to
2023.
you
Yeah,
this
yeah.
year. Yeah.
Well,
It's confusing, honestly, like what they're trying to remove. Because like it's supposed to like there's essentially they're saying like we're trying to remove password sharing, right?
yeah.
But then there's like so many instances where, password sharing is not hurtful. Like for example, two households.
Yeah, yeah.
Like for
Two people.
example, my parents right have an account on the Netflix account, and
Yeah.
I have my own account, but we're in the two different households. So does that mean that they're trying to remove me from the account?
Yeah.
Um,
They want you. They want you to pay for your own, like you pay for your
and
own
want me to
cell phone
pay for my
bill.
own? Like, well, at that point, I'm just
Like
gonna.
people pay for their own cell phone bills. They should
But
pay
then
for
it's like,
that.
how does it cancel it? Like, how does it? Like, what do they do to? How do they solve that? Like, do they just log out everyone from the Netflix account then, and everyone has to log back in, or
That's what it
how?
seems.
I still
Should
don't really understand like how that's supposed to help the situation. Because like if I'm signed into the Netflix, right?
yeah, yeah.
Does that mean like I specifically just can't log in anymore from the household I'm in? Because I know it
Well,
says like you have to log into the parent or the main
main
household
account. Yeah.
account or something like every 31 days,
What? Ugh, that's
something like
irritating.
that. Yeah.
That
Or you have
sounds.
to stream something at least once every 31 days from the main household.
What? That sounds crazy. They're saying that if you pay an extra fee for the premium tier, you get up to two extra users outside of your home. So
Yeah, your home network, right? But then what do they consider the home network? Because what about the people who move, right? Like they create an
yeah,
account in an old household, but then they move somewhere else. What them? I mean, I understand like it's to target like all those small cases where, for example, you sign into Netflix at like a Airbnb, for example, right? And you forget
right,
to sign
right.
out. Then yeah, I can see that being useful.
I That happened to
And
me actually. I logged into my cousin's place with my
mhm.
Netflix, and they created a profile on there, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what's going on here?" And I was like, "There's all these shows like showing up in Spanish and different things like that." I'm like, "Wait, something's wrong here." Like I was thinking something had happened, and I realized that I forgot to log out, and they still use it, I think, to this day. Isn't that bad?
You just didn't sign out, and then you get Spanish recommendations.
Yeah, it's very, very peculiar. Like I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, do I just tell my cousin, like, hey, I just I happen to keep myself logged in. Can you log yourselves out? And then it's like, now they have to buy their own account now. It's my fault. All my fault.
It's all your fault.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's it. I do think that it's gonna probably create a big shakeup. I mean, Netflix is saying that they have 100 million households that are sharing passwords that are impacting their ability to create new TVs and films. But it's
No
like
way. I honestly think this is because they spend way too much money
on TVs and
on
films.
on stuff that they shouldn't.
I know. Well, I do want to go back to how we consume TV shows and movies. Like I was saying back in the days, I watched TV on TV, and then when I wanted to watch a movie, I would go, to the movie theater. Now, the fact that, these TVs and movies, mostly actually the movies come out on a Friday, I'll watch them and then I'll be done. I feel like I don't know if there's still a distinction between production value, because sometimes when I watch TV shows, I'm like, okay, it took longer to film this whole thing, but um, I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, this watches like a movie, and I'm watching a TV show. Oh, this watches like a TV show. I mean, sorry, I'm
Hmm.
watching a movie on Netflix, and I'm like, oh, this kind of watches like a TV show. So, I mean, is there going to be a distinction? Is it going to be like gender identity where there is no clear gender?
I thought that was like the norm nowadays or I thought like that was the trend was like movie level production is being
Reduced.
produced in television shows.
I think so. I mean,
Well, because like I think that's like it comes down to like how streaming as a general just kind of changes the way we consume content. Because it's like for a television show, it releases weekly, right? And so they have to shoot it, in the old days, like throughout the '90s and early 2000s. It's like they would shoot like entire seasons throughout the year, right? For example,
yeah.
um, but now
And
it's
24
like
episodes. They used to be 24 episodes.
yeah, 24 to 30 episode long
Yeah.
formats, right? 30 minutes each.
Yeah,
And
30
so it's
minutes.
like that means they have to shoot like a crazy amount of footage every
Yeah.
year or several times a year throughout the year, right?
Right, right.
So I think the only time they really take a break is like when they go on hiatus or something. I don't know. But now it's like you spend only a certain amount of time per month to shoot, right? And you have only that one season for that year.
That's what makes me think that for Netflix, if they're thinking about profitability, it really makes more sense to do more TV shows than movies because but then the real issue is that they
Yeah.
also allow all the TV show episodes to come out at one time,
I
which
think that's probably the biggest drawback is that they do release everything at once.
yeah, they should
Yeah.
their business model is flawed. They although us as consumers and watchers like love it and we're so happy, that we can complete a whole season. They of course, get the brunt of it
Hmm.
and they created this binge culture where we expect now everyone else to release all their shows and when they don't we're kind of disappointed that we got to come back every week. I got to come back every week.
Well, yeah, and if the sad part too is I think they are trying to experiment with like a week release kind of thing.
With their Korean dramas and Chinese
Yeah,
dramas.
they're K dramas. Yeah,
But I think
uh,
that's probably because they don't give them the whole thing. They're like, "Oh, sorry, Netflix, you can distribute our TV shows and movies, but you can't release it the whole season, or people are gonna be pissed."
yeah, and it just feels wrong when they do it like that on
Yeah,
Netflix.
yeah. It's they really train people to not
They've
want to wait
trained
for
us.
anything.
They've conditioned us to watch
Yeah, we've
everything
been
all at
conditioned. I
once.
mean, I'm pretty sure if anyone in the comments was saying like, "Oh yeah, I would wait weekly for a TV show," everyone would be like, "Hell no,
It's
I'm
it's so
not
funny.
doing
Like their biggest thing that made them so large or
it."
so popular, so successful is now the same thing that's like kind of slowly killing them.
Right, right. It's detrimental. And
Yeah.
well, the hard thing is, right, let's say, to keep anyone, you have to release something every week now. So that's 52 either televisions and movies.
Yeah, and the rotation of like new content, new shows
Yeah,
is
that makes it tough.
vast compared to like, Disney, for example.
Right. Well, and that's why I feel like the good thing is Disney kind of, because I've never even thought about canceling my Disney Plus subscription, right? Because, I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, well, they have shows coming throughout the year. They don't have to do something every week. They don't have to, and they release weekly as well. So their model is pretty, fair, I think. 5, 6 episodes for Disney Plus shows.
It keeps people engaged. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like HBO Max where when I'm watching HBO Max, as soon as House of the Dragon's done, I'm like, I'm out. There's nothing keeping me at HBO Max, that's for sure.
Well, that's speaking to like the shows that they produce, like the franchises that they are successful with. I
Right.
mean, Disney obviously has the most successful ones with Marvel and
Yeah,
Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah,
Netflix, I think, is just like a mass conglomerate of like everything
yeah. Everything's out of control
combined
there.
into like, yeah. I mean, the thing is like I wouldn't mind paying for a bigger Netflix price if that was all I had to pay for.
Right. Yeah, that also makes it a hard pill to swallow. I'm like,
Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it sucks. Like, it used to start off at like what? Well, subscription like
$5.99.
$10, five
I
ninety
was
nine. Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
was super
exactly. At the beginning, it was like $5 at the very beginning. And now we're up to like what, 18, something like that.
yeah. It was my mom. I remember my mom first signed up for Netflix. She was getting the DVDs and you could mail
Hmm.
it in, mail it out. That was 10.99, and then you could get the streaming for like 5.99, just like and then there was not too many items to choose from, but you're like, okay, well, it's super cheap, like it's not a big deal, and then we'll still get the mailers.
Well,
Like
and plus, it beat mailing in the DVDs every week.
it's hard to, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it beat it. I mean, it was a lot easier than it was a lot more convenient than just receiving and mailing in their DVDs in that
What a
envelope.
what a old school like system. Yeah.
It's not even that old though. It's like
Well,
I
mail
feel
it and
like,
mail it back. That's kind of old. No.
well, no. But I'm saying, like, if you think about it, it wasn't even that long ago.
Oh, I know. That's the hard thing about like history now. Like different things like ChatGPT and all these new technologies coming out. I mean, ChatGPT was just this past November. It's only 4 months old, and it's like kind of taking the world by storm. And people are just having to adapt to all these things. Like I can't even imagine like me as an old person in the future not knowing like what
Hmm.
of this stuff is. I'm like, I don't know what this stuff is. Like, what's going on? And I gotta ask my kids, my grandkids, my great great grandkids if I even live that
Wow,
long.
not an old man.
I know. I'm already in the future.
You're already in the future.
I told
You're writing
myself.
the future.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, even that, like thinking about how television's gonna be, I mean, I never imagined there being streaming wars. I never imagined there'd be like Disney Plus. Like I always thought I would be stuck with Amazon and the Apple streaming platform and just buying all my stuff from there, which probably old people just buy stuff from Apple now.
Yeah, well, I mean, kind of honestly, I think we should have seen this coming a mile away, to be honest.
Really?
The moment Netflix announced a streaming service,
Yeah.
right, to the moment that HBO announced their own streaming service,
Yeah.
that was like
HBO Max.
the sizzling start of like the streaming wars. Because like
Right.
that was like then like it was like a race between like who could become the better streaming service. Netflix was trying to become more like Netflix. I mean, Netflix was trying to become more like HBO. Meanwhile, HBO was trying to become more like Netflix in terms of like streaming and original content.
Yeah.
And then this kind of sparked this whole streaming wars scenario where now you have more players in the field constantly bidding against each other. I mean, The Lord of the Rings was a perfect example. I was reading that all the major platforms were bidding on the rights to produce a Lord of the Rings show.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, Amazon of course won the bid, right? But it wasn't just Amazon. It was everyone from HBO to Amazon, Netflix. I think there were. I think there was a Paramount, Showtime. I don't know, but there were a lot of bids coming in apparently, with offers and idea pitches to produce a Netflix show or a Lord of the Rings show, and ultimately, I guess Amazon was picked for some reason.
Oh, I mean, they must have been like, oh, Amazon has money. We'd like Amazon. It's probably because they had money.
Well, here's the funny part. They weren't the highest bidder.
And they weren't?
No, Netflix was.
Oh,
Netflix was the highest
crazy.
bidder of everyone,
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of crazy. I
but
know.
Amazon won.
It's so interesting. Like when I look at in 2007, Hulu, Netflix, and Prime Video, right? And
Right.
then in 2021, we have Hulu, Netflix, Tubi, Paramount, HBO Max, Disney, Discover Plus, Pluto, BET Plus. Look at everyone just movie Lifetime Movie Club, Apple TV,
Yeah,
Peacock.
and they all have their own, and they all have original content now,
That's true. I mean,
which is
I
crazy.
subscribe to Peacock because of the Olympics.
Like,
So
there are a few things I've seen on. I think I've seen a promo for that is exclusively streaming to Apple TV. And I was
yeah.
like, man, that would be so cool to watch if I had Apple TV.
Yeah,
but
I think about that too. It's like, oh
I
yeah,
don't.
Jason Momoa and
Just the
Jennifer
Momoa,
Aniston and all them. Like they have such good shows on there, but I wouldn't pay for it. Like that's Apple TV. I mean, I wonder. I hope they bundle it because I actually have Apple Music,
yeah.
so I cancel my.
I don't know. I doubt Apple will ever bundle their stuff.
I mean, they may. Oh no, they have Apple One. You know what is Apple One? Apple One is a subscription which bundles a number of premium services provided by Apple into tiered packages. First offered in late 2020, the three tiers offered are individual, family, and Premier, with all three providing access to Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, and Apple Arcade, and then your iCloud storage.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
I,
see.
I did see it. Well, you're not a big Apple guy.
I'm not a hardcore Apple guy. No.
Right. So when I saw, I was like, oh, but look at these plans. Like individual plan is $14.95, family plan is $19.95, and premier plan is $29.95. But I gotta pay for my Netflix and I gotta pay for my Hulu.
Yeah.
I gotta
Now
pay
it's becoming just as expensive as cable back in the early 90s. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, you can pay for entertainment services
Pretty
up
soon enough, soon enough, you're gonna have like these salesmen calling you or texting you. It's like, hey, do you want to buy this super bundle that includes Amazon, Netflix, Apple,
and
Showtime,
and then it will be Time Warner, and then we'll be
and
like
Time Warner?
Spectrum. We'll be like Spectrum. They would just turn into TV.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and YouTube. Yeah, that's the other one now, right? It's YouTube TV.
Oh yeah, and that's the funny thing. So in here, in these stats, they don't include Prime Video for one of the streaming wars, and then they also don't include YouTube, which I pay for YouTube as well for no ads. So
Well, YouTube doesn't know what they want to be right now, so it's understandable.
yeah, but they also do like well, there's YouTube TV, which I had for a little bit. I mean, they also are another source that I would go to buy content. You know what I mean? If it was like a Rent $2.99 or if it was like a $4.99. But yeah, at a certain point, like all this stuff gets really expensive.
Well, and confusing because you have to keep track of where everything is.
That's true if you want to watch something
Like,
with
if
family.
you want, like, for example, if you're watching like new episodes of Rick and Morty, right? On, I guess I'm assuming it's on
I
Apple
watched it
YouTube
on
TV.
Amazon.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, I
on
watched it
Amazon, right?
Yeah.
But then now you want to switch to like watching House of the Dragon. Then you gotta go to HBO. Oh,
Yeah.
but then the new season of Stranger Things just launched. Oh no, now I gotta switch to Netflix.
Yeah.
That's like
I mean,
three different platforms right there, just for three different shows, and you have to
yeah.
subscribe to all of them.
Well, and especially if you're kind of a demographic person, right? Like, so, like nerd culture, and then, of course, drama culture or foreign suspense. Like, you have all these different, subscriptions now that you have to sort through to watch your same genre in three different platforms. And that just makes it.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too. It's like the genres are split out. Like, at least with cable,
Yeah.
you had different channels specifically for different genres.
Yeah. Now it's like genres are split across different platforms, which,
Sure.
like, if I want to watch Friends, then I need to keep my HBO Max, which I don't because I just watch it wherever. But when it comes to like even watching How I Met Your Mother, that's on Hulu, right, which has the same type of feel. But like sitcoms seem to live on Hulu versus any other platform. And then all the sitcoms that Netflix comes out with is super quick and boring. So it's like no story development. It's all limited releases. So it's hard for a genre person if you like, rom-coms or if you like, situational comedies. It's like you're screwed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think that it's not fair to have multiple platforms, or do you feel like we're gonna end up like it's gonna be cable and integrate all of that together, and then a salesman will call you, like Jeremy will call you, be like, hey, do you want?
That'll be in my new job when this is.
Yeah, he's like, hey, do you want?
Yeah. Please.
I've been around.
Please buy from me from the future so I can get my 2% commission.
Right. I've been around since 2008 and I want to sell this to you. Yeah.
Like,
but yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys later. Peace.